Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Living to Learn. Thanks for watching. Good to be back. Good to be seen. Good to be heard. And I think that's like so many of us, right? I was actually thinking about this not too long ago from an experience I had over the weekend, or actually it was on Friday. But before I get into that, I just want to start out, as I always do, thanking everyone for watching these videos. A big thank you for those of you who have subscribed to my channel. If you haven't yet, please do so. And share these videos like there's no tomorrow. And I only say that if these talks, if these discussions, if these things that I'm saying mean a lot to you, if you felt like they've impacted you, maybe they'd impact someone else as well. Somebody that's not in my circle, that's in your circle. So consider sharing these videos, and also consider donating financially. I have links in the bio of my videos where you can donate. You don't have to. By no means am I requiring that. No, it's a nice gesture, and some of you have been very generous in donating to me financially. So I really appreciate that, because this is work, and it takes time to sit down and record and think of something to say, and wanting it to sound interesting, wanting it to sound like, something people are going to want to actually listen to. So let's get started. I want to talk today about growing. I want to talk about growth. I want to talk about breaking outside of our comfort zone. I want to talk about just stepping into a bigger space, a bigger room. Now, let me give you an example of what I mean. And I'm going to go back to what I started talking about in the beginning in just a minute. I shared a quote, right? So I'm reading a few different books right now. I shared a quote from one of those books yesterday. I'm not going to read the quote because it's pretty heavy, and it's a great quote. But this is one of those books where I'm reading it and I'm like, okay, I understand, but I don't understand, right? And I sent it to my sister, who, it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Bees. Love you. Appreciate you. Always been a great sister. She's always been by my side. Now she's a great mom and a great wife. So happy for my sis. Here's to many more years. Happy birthday. But I sent her the quote, right? She's super smart. And I sent it to, my best friend, who's also very smart. And just, hey, what does this mean? Like, can you guys help me out? What does this mean? And both of them got back to me like, yeah, I don't know, man. Your guess is as good as mine, right? Basically. And I say all that because, we can get intimidated over certain things, right? Like I consider myself a pretty smart individual. I consider myself, relatively intelligent. I think we all should. Okay, I think you should consider yourself intelligent, because let me tell you something. Intelligence is not always just book smarts, or, hey, I could teach a class, or I can give a speech, or I could this and that. I can write something. That intelligence comes out in us in ways we don't even recognize, right? Some of us are so good at something we don't even realize that no one else is that good at it, right? It just comes natural to us. So we all have something. Okay, don't ever count yourself out. But I get intimidated sometimes, especially when I'm reading things that I don't quite understand, that are challenging me, that are requiring me to, maybe have a dictionary on hand, because I'm like, I didn't even know that was a word. Right? What is that? What does that even mean? And you start to kind of feel a certain way. And some of us, that triggers an insecurity. It triggers feelings of feeling less than, and that can go deep, right? Those are things that we have to address on our own. And sometimes that's through therapy, sometimes it's through other means. But I would encourage you to get to the bottom of those things. Just like for myself, when I'm triggered, when I have a feeling, like I woke up this morning feeling like I was feeling sad, I was feeling down. And I had to tell myself, like, hey, man, what are you sad about? Like, what are you down about? The day hasn't even started, bro. Like, what's going on here? And that's the work that I'm doing on myself, working on me, realigning my thoughts, taking those fears and those overwhelming emotions and saying, okay, there's a place for you, but not right now. I'm going to put you over here on the side. I need to think clearly. What am I affirming today? Who am I going to be today? What am I expecting today? It's a daily battle. But anyway, when it comes to growth, these are the things that are required. I have to read books that are over my head. I have to read books and I have to learn from people that are just beyond my capacity, because that's the only way that my capacity is going to widen. That's the only way I'm going to get smarter. I'm going to get better. And as I challenge myself, as I'm on this pursuit to become a better version of myself, these are the requirements. I was texting my mom and I shared with her, I have to enjoy and I have to appreciate, maybe not enjoy. Let's be realistic. Sometimes it doesn't feel good, but I definitely have to appreciate every single part of this journey, every single part of this process, especially the difficult times, especially the times where I'm not necessarily seeing a lot of wins, quote unquote, at least not in the present, but they will add and they will contribute to wins later on in the future. Those are the things I have to remind myself about. So part of growth, part of expanding ourselves and becoming greater, becoming stronger, becoming more intelligent, becoming more wise, becoming more resilient, is to put ourselves in situations where you are no longer super confident about what's going on, but you are now having to learn. You are now having to challenge yourself, right? That's how I feel reading these books. They're challenging me. They're challenging my mind. Are you willing to learn more words? Are you willing to find out what this means? Are you willing to wrestle with this material and allow it to grow your mind and your brain, your intelligence, your understanding? Because it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy. And what I was saying earlier about being heard and being seen, as I aspire to be a life coach, I'm starting to notice more than ever, and maybe because this is the direction I'm headed, but more than ever, I'm starting to notice and I'm starting to encounter situations where I'm talking with people and I realize there's a great need for coaching, for counsel. To put it in plain language, there's a great need to have somebody to talk to and someone who's listening to you. So I was at an appointment, a sales appointment, and I'm speaking with this gentleman. And right before I left, no, he didn't buy. I didn't get the sale. So that sucked. But I did get something else out of it. You see, you have to fight for a takeaway. You have to take something away. If it's a waste of time, that's my choice. That's your choice. Or I could say, you know what? This is what I got from this experience. See, there's no way you can lose if you're always looking for a takeaway. Now, I don't mean to say that. I know that might sound corny. Okay, I didn't say it's not going to suck. I didn't say it's not going to, feel bad every once in a while. Yes, it's terrible when you go out and you're spending hours with somebody and you don't close a deal. It's very discouraging. It can be. So I have to fight extra hard to find, what am I taking away from this? But I had a discussion with this gentleman, and he and I are talking, and he begins to share with me these very personal things. I don't know this guy. I don't know him. He's a stranger to me, except for that day. We just met. He begins to share with me some stuff that's happening, family stuff, things that he's uncomfortable with, and he's trying to explain it to me as best as he can. And he stops himself and he says, "Hey, I didn't expect to open up like this. I'm sorry. I didn't expect to go this far in the conversation." And I told him, I said, "You know what? That's okay. I'm glad you did. And I hope you feel better. And just so you know, the type of person that I am, I'm all for it, man. This is what I do. And I started to share with him some of my endeavors, right? Things that I'm pursuing, life coaching. I shared with him this channel. And shout out to you, man, if you're watching this. And if you ended up subscribing, I don't know if you did or not. And if you are watching my channel, I hope that this is helpful, right? I'm not going to say your name. I'm not going to put you out there like that. But you actually helped me, sir. You actually helped me how do I say it? You helped strengthen that idea that I have, that I see myself as this individual who can help people and make a living from that. See, I used to be so uncomfortable even saying that. So when I talk about growth, when I talk about expansion, I'm experiencing that, and I have experienced that to this point. So I know that it works. I know there's a purpose to it. So if you want to get better, you want to grow, you've got to put yourself in bigger rooms, right? If you're the smartest person in the room, guess what you need to do? You got to go to the next room. For some of us, that is very intimidating for a number of reasons. We may find some assurance in a certain area. We may find some kind of validation in a certain area. And I know those things are real. Believe me, I grew up in the church, man. I grew up in the church. So some people, that title, that's all they have. And they will fight to the death to keep that. That's not to say they're a good or bad person. That's not to say they're a good or bad believer. That has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with human nature. It has everything to do with the fact that all of us want to be validated. We all want to be important. We all want to know that we matter, that I actually contribute, that if I disappeared today, I would be missed. That's humanity. That goes across the board. But I want to challenge you because I'm challenging myself. I'm not going to challenge you for something I'm not challenging myself in. I am absolutely challenged in this area. I am learning some hard lessons right now, but I am so glad because you don't get better without the pain. You don't get better without the discomfort. You don't get better any other way. You don't get stronger without resistance. It's impossible. It's impossible. So I want to challenge you. If you're the smartest person in the room, if you are comfortable in your space, I challenge you to get into to walk into another space. I challenge you to allow yourself to be stretched. Is it uncomfortable? Heck yeah. It is. It sucks. Straight up. But what are the results going to be? Right? We've all heard the what do they call it? We've all heard the diamond reference, right? We love the end result of the diamond. It's the most valuable, it's the most valuable mineral, the most valuable rock, right? I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, they go for extraordinary amounts of money. Right? We've all heard the analogy, but what does the diamond start out as? Well, not how we recognize it. It's just a plain old rock. And the only reason that we see a diamond is because that thing has been crushed, it has been broken, it has been rubbed and polished, and eventually it gets to what we know as a diamond. Something beautiful, something precious, something valuable, and something that is worth a lot of money and people's attention. And it's thought highly of. And that's where you and I are headed, if we're willing to take on the challenge. See, I didn't get the sale that day, but I did get a reminder that I am exactly where I need to be. And you know what? That feels amazing. There are certain things money can't buy. That's one of them. There are certain things that no matter what you try to do, there's only one way to get to it. Are you open to it? Are you available to challenge yourself? Are you ready to read the books that you don't understand? Are you ready to take the classes that are over your head? And yeah, there are certain things that are just, maybe it's a fad, right? And that's kind of how you find out. I remember when I was taking my business, and I got a BA in business. I took a business law class, loved it, considered going to law school. I even looked into law school. I inquired about a couple of law schools. I thought, man, this is cool. Maybe I want to study law. And then when I was working on my master's, I had another business law class. And this one pretty much zapped that out of me. I was reading things from Supreme Court justices, and I was just like, you know what? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Now, I wasn't serious about it. And again, there's a difference. We have to find that line. But man, I know when it comes to coaching, when it comes to being a life coach, when it comes to being a help to others, that has always been me. That has always been my desire. That has always been my dream, even before I began to realize that. So that's something that no matter what, I will never give up. I will never stop. I will continue to challenge myself. I will continue to learn the hard lessons, because this is what's required of me to get to where I'm going. And I want you to consider that for yourself, because I don't know your situation, but I want you to consider that for yourself. I want you to think about, what do I need to do? Am I a big fish in a small pond? I need to jump into a lake. Do I need to jump into the ocean? Why don't I want to? What am I afraid of? How does it make me feel? These are the things we have to deal with. I'm dealing with them right now. But I'm challenging you. I'm saying, if we're going to grow, if we are going to become the best version of ourselves, it's going to require some uncomfortable situations. It's going to require some uncomfortable seasons. And the most daunting thing is, we don't know when it's going to end. But every day, make a conscious choice that I'm going to endure this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put up with this. I'm going to learn from this. This is going to make me better. It has no other choice. I'm not going to give it a choice. It's going to make me better. It's going to make me greater. It's going to make me smarter. It's going to make me stronger. That's my determination. And I challenge you to take on the same, however it comes about for you. Because you and I are different. Except the fact that we're both human. We both have dreams. We both have desires. We both have things that we would love to see. Why not? Why couldn't it be us? Why couldn't it be me? Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I hope it helps. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys next week.